Good day, my friends. I've heard a wonderful story here by Father Dan Rehill. A funny story about God's provision. God sometimes lets us know that all things are possible with him. And sometimes he does it in a funny manner, as in this story. So when Father Dan Rehill was a brother in a religious organization, he was the chef. And he also had to do the food shopping for a dozen houses. So whenever he started shopping, he started at the food bank. And he said, if you know a food bank, that whatever is there, that's what you eat this week. If there's pasta there, you're eating pasta that day. If there's potatoes there, you're eating potatoes. So he gets a phone call from Brother Joshua. And Brother Joshua said, Father David is really sick and he loves black licorice. If you see any black licorice there, could you get it? Well, Father Dan thought, there's not going to be any black licorice there. I haven't seen black licorice since I was a 5-year-old. But he goes every Tuesday. So this Tuesday he goes along, and what do you think was there? Black licorice. He took it back. Father David ate his licorice and he cried. He didn't cry because he got the licorice. He cried because he knew that God had put it there deliberately for him. But it gets better. Week 2, another brother, another David, funnily enough, David Marie, a Polish brother, calls, and he said, I haven't had pierogi since I got to this community. If you see pierogi this week, could you get some? Father Dan again said, okay, but I've never seen pierogi there, but if there's some there, I'll get it. What do you think? They had hundreds of bags of pierogi there that week, and so the whole community ate pierogi. Now, week 3, the sisters cottoned on to this. They heard about it. And Sister Mary Christina, the head of the novitiate, rang him and said, Brother Dan, Sister Antonia's feast day is coming up. She loves tulips. If you see any tulips, could you get them? This just gets ridiculous. He said, it's a food bank, don't you? They have food. He said, I've never seen flowers there. But they went that week, and behold, there was flowers, potted tulips. And so he brought them back. Now, Father Dan went for a holy hour after this, and he's speaking to Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. And he says, what are you doing? He said, you're creating a monster here. He said, this community is going to think that whatever you ask for, you're going to provide at a food bank. He said, it's just not going to happen. So he said, let's be clear about this. But while we're speaking, I haven't had creme brulee for a long time. He's speaking to Jesus here in the Blessed Sacrament. And that week he goes, and you guessed it, there were creme brulees there. And he just said, this is God in his gratuitous love, just telling us, I can do this. I can do anything. I can provide. Sometimes God just tells us these things in an extraordinary way, just to give us hope. Let's always trust in God's provision. God bless, my friend.